Welcome back to Future Vehicles, the channel where the past, present, and future of automotive design meet. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most unique and underrated cars of the early 90s, the 1990 Volkswagen Corrado, a car that didn't make the biggest splash in its time, but one that's earned a loyal cult following and deserves a closer look. We're focusing on the exterior design, performance, and giving you a quick taste of what the interior feels like. Let's start with the exterior. The 1990 Corrado was ahead of its time in many ways. At a glance, it might seem like just another compact coupe from the 90s. But the longer you stare at it, the more you start to appreciate the subtlety of its design. The Corrado featured a low, aggressive stance without being overly flashy. Its proportions are tight and well-balanced, with a slightly forward-leaning profile that gives it a sense of motion, even when it's standing still. The front fascia is clean and purposeful. There's a simplicity to it. Rectangular headlights integrated neatly into the body, a slim grille with the VW badge proudly in the center, and a modest bumper that doesn't try to be anything more than functional. It's the kind of design that grows on you, and it definitely stands out from the more angular and boxy cars of the same era. One of the most iconic features of the Corrado is the active rear spoiler. Yes, you heard that right. An active spoiler in 1990. At around 45 miles per hour, the spoiler automatically rises to improve stability and downforce, and then retracts when you slow down. It was rare, borderline exotic technology back then, especially for a front-wheel drive Volkswagen. Along the sides you see strong shoulder lines and slightly flared wheel arches that hint at performance. The doors are long, the windows are frameless, and there's just the right amount of chrome trim to break up the painted surfaces. Around back, the design remains clean and purposeful. The taillights are wide and wrap slightly into the fenders, giving the rear a planted, stable look. It all comes together into a package that still feels fresh today. Classic without being dated. Now let's talk performance, because this is where the Corrado truly surprises. Under the hood of the 1990 model, you'll find one of two engines, either a supercharged 1.8-liter four-cylinder known as the G60, or a naturally aspirated 2.0-liter inline-4 in some markets. We're focusing on the G60, because that's where the magic is. The G60 engine makes around 160 horsepower and 166 pound-feet of torque. Not massive numbers by today's standards, but remember, this is a relatively lightweight car. What makes it special is the supercharger, which gives the Corrado a punchy, linear power delivery. There's very little lag, and it pulls consistently through the rev range. It doesn't scream like a high-revving Honda, but there's a satisfying, mechanical growl as the engine works its way up the tachometer. The Corrado's real strength, though, is in how it handles. The chassis is tight, the steering is communicative, and the suspension strikes a great balance between comfort and control. It corners with confidence and feels far more planted than most front-wheel drive cars of the era. In fact, many enthusiasts today still say the Corrado drives better than a lot of newer cars. The brakes are firm, the gear shifter feels precise, and the clutch has a progressive bite that makes it easy to modulate. Volkswagen engineers put real thought into the dynamics of this car, and it shows. This wasn't just a sporty version of a Golf or Jetta. It was its own machine, designed to be a serious driver's car. In many ways, it feels more like a European sports coupe than a hot hatch. And that's part of why it's so beloved by those who've driven one. Step inside, and you'll find a cabin that's focused, functional, and surprisingly refined for its time. The dashboard is simple, with large analog gauges that are easy to read, and a driver-centric layout. The seats are supportive without being harsh, and the materials feel solid, even 3 decades later. There's nothing overly luxurious, but everything is well put together and has aged gracefully. The steering wheel is small and sporty. The gear lever sits right where you want it, and visibility is excellent thanks to the slim roof pillars. Yes, it's a bit cramped in the back, and no, it doesn't have the high-tech screens and digital controls of modern cars. But what it offers is a pure, engaging driving environment that lets you focus on the road. It's honest, it's analog, and it's incredibly satisfying. The 1990 Volkswagen Corrado may not have been a huge sales success, but it stands today as a symbol of what Volkswagen could achieve when they aimed high. A beautiful blend of subtle styling, clever engineering, and driving fun. It's a future classic, no doubt, and a reminder that sometimes the best cars aren't the ones that sold the most, but the ones that dared to be different. Thanks for watching Future Vehicles. If you enjoyed this look at the Corrado, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More automotive gems coming soon.